Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a lot to unpack in this one, as we got an update on 50 Cent versus Big Meech that continues to explode. And on 50 Cent, his reaction to Irv Gotti's news has left many social media users in shock.
His blood runs a little colder than mine.
While others have tried to provide some more context on their history. Today we also have more from Joe Budden, who defended Eminem when he was brought up in a conversation about how Drake has had more dominance in hip-hop than Eminem and Jay-Z. And we also have what looks to be the first rapper to publicly speak against Kendrick Lamar winning the Grammy for Song of the Year. And while Drake's been getting roasted for walking out to his Perth show with a hoodie riddled with bullet holes and smoke effects, some have come to Drake's defense as this went viral. They calling this corny. If Kendrick did it, they'd be analyzing the amount of bullets and how they represent certain areas of the Los Angeles music diaspora.
I feel like you've been saving that one. You have, haven't you?
And on Drake, his dad was getting heckled leaving the Grammys as youths were seen chanting, "They not like us" at him.
How it started.
Hey, for the kids, let the kids get their picture. Everybody back up. Let the kids get their picture, bro. Everybody back up. Man, let them walk, bro. Let the OG walk, man. Get a picture? They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. Oh, wow.
Damn.
And this sparked reactions like, "This is disrespectful," but also shows how a new generation of kids will grow up to view Drake as a lame, perhaps the same way a whole generation grew up to view Ja Rule as forever corny. But the irony is that Drake's dad is not Canadian, he's from Memphis, Tennessee. And moving on, we got Trick Daddy out here going off about how Kendrick Lamar did not deserve the Grammy for Song of the Year. Check out a snippet from 103.5 The Beat.
Congratulations to the Queen Bee. She finally won a Grammy for that country album. Yeah, for all y'all instigators that always like to instigate beef between me and B, why would I beef against the baddest performer ever hit the stage? I just got my opinion about other things, that's all. She won a Grammy. Now, what I don't agree with last night is why they gave Kendrick Lamar the Song of the Year. I know why. They not like us, because BET would never get that award up. And what I was saying to clarify everything was I don't think that Kendrick Lamar's song was the Song of the Year. I don't think that Kendrick Lamar and Drake have nothing in common to be battling against each other. I think just competing against our art form, I think verses was enough. I mean, do a verses, yeah, I mean, everybody knows that. If you want to do a verses that Kendrick Lamar could never stand next to Drake, everybody knows that. Like, I mean, so it don't make no sense. It's like having your 5-year-olds get out of the yard and fight and say, you know how mama used to do us back in the day, like, and you better win. How I better win? So you want me to go out here and get beat up, and if I get beat up, I'm gonna come back in the house and get beat up again? That's how I look at it. For all y'all inspired artists, do your thing. Try to stay away from the beef, because as you can see, people have to choose, and you might not be the one they chose. All of us got the same fans. All of us in this together. Every music head, every hip hop head, everybody's in it together. From the record labels to the radio station to the record accepts. All us are the same.
And this sparked reactions like, he's entitled to his opinion, but nothing he said make a lick of sense. And I believe the only true contender that you could make a legit argument for is perhaps a bar song, Tipsy by Shabuzi, the only song, as far as I know, that commercially outperformed Not Like Us in the United States in 2024, that was also positively received. But what are your thoughts? And moving on, before we get to the debate on if Drake had a better run than Eminem and Jay-Z on the Joe Budden podcast, we got 50 Cent out here still going off about Big Meech linking up with Rick Ross. He continues to go off about Big Meech being a rat He posted this, for instance. He had Tani Collins doing all his dirty work. Her new tell-all breaks it down. Screech directed her and connected her to people to get his time cut.
Bro, I get paid to snitch now, nigga. It's really classified. I can't even really talk about this shit, my nigga. You know how much motherfucking money they gave me for that? How much? $200.
And boy, this sparked reactions like Ross knew Meech ain't no better. He lined him right up for this. In this new world, the internet is more dangerous than a gun. Facepalm emoji. And perhaps there's truth to this, since Big Meech was locked up before the social media boom happened. And 50 Cent posted a screenshot of his text exchange with Lil Meech. Check it out. They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram, and now you're managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you're mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you. F Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet ish is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life, so it is not like we didn't already know that money got Big Meech to link up with Rick Ross, and 50 Cent added the caption, since Lil Meech was talking about bills until the next season of BMF starts. 50 responded, eyes emoji, what next season, little man? The internet is certainly a dangerous place, like that user pointed out. All it took was that video that Rick Ross posted that's now led to this calamity. And while users are urging 50 to calm down with takes like, nah, this ain't it, 50, bro's coming to you as a man. Others have reacted with, if he disowned his own son, who the F are you? And if there was only one person on earth who could relate when Eminem rapped on No Apologies, my heart is frozen, it don't even beat, so expect no apologies, expect no sympathy from me. 50 Cent was that one person who was like, yeah, that's my jam. I can relate, because it got worse when millions of users on social media found out about Irv Gotti's news. First, 50 posted this, Irv Gotti on life support, friends and family saying their goodbyes, and 50 added the caption, eyes emoji, damn, I wanted him to see my new shows, yo. And this was how many users on social media found out that Irv passed. I'm smoking that Gotti pack, nah, God bless him, dove emoji, LOL. 50 Cent is the breathing, walking embodiment of channeled trauma. And this reaction to 50's post blew up. Irv tried to kill him, but 50 outlived him. God is undefeated. But the irony of this comment is that Irv doesn't believe God protected 50 Cent. He believes the opposite, that the devil protected him instead. Check out a snippet from a past interview with Vlad.
Who saved him? People be like, God. Your first thing is, yo, God saved this guy. Maybe the devil, maybe Satan saved him, because he's a great engine of chaos. I don't think God would save somebody who moves like that. I don't think God would save somebody who disrespects his own family and is just everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity, beef, chaos. Sounds like he's with Satan to me, man. I think, Satan was like, I'm gonna use you. You're gonna be great for me.
But all in all, rest in peace to Irv Gotti, who's responsible for pushing one of my favorite rappers of all time, DMX. And Complex posted this just hours ago about how Irv even went against Jay-Z.
First meeting I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew what I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell, your ass is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more of like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a f. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heartbeats, doom, doom. DMX, doom, doom. Live at the tunnel, y'all don't even remember the tunnel. Funk Massive was doom doom, and then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother. Doom doom. The video's flashing, f***ing up your eyes. it caused change. And now there was no more shiny suits. We back to the hood, and X is the leader of this revolution. I used to put on the wall a triangle with 5. And it was like, they used to clown me. And they used to be like, who's gonna buy his records, Gotti? Chihuahuas, he's barking. No one wants to hear that bullshit. And I'd be like, yeah. It's 05. It was no more writing on the walls. It was, y'all can get behind me. I used to tell Leo in the midst of the whole staff, and I would tell him, yo, shut the fuck up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we doing. And he would shut up.
And moving on to the next topic today, we got a debate on the Joe Budden podcast about Drake's run in hip-hop music that got heated when his co-host made claims about how even Eminem and Jay-Z never had a run like Drake, and Joe Budden stepped in to defend Eminem. Check out a snippet.
Nobody's Drake.
He was worldwide superstar of that time.
Yeah, he was.
It's a different game, of course. He was Drake pre-Drake.
But Drake is a lot bigger.
50 wasn't
It's
Drake.
a different evolution. He's the evolved version of that. He walked
He's
around
still
believing
not
that he
Drake.
was bigger than Interscope.
Nobody's Drake,
Yes.
because Drake is in the
And
streaming
Interscope-
era, but
and-
without
excuse me, hold
streaming.
on.
Go ahead,
Not
Frank.
just
Right. But he walked around believing that he was big
Bigger than the
ass or
system, for
bigger
sure. He
than
did, for sure.
Interscope.
He did.
And that he could throw that weight around. And then they had to remind him, no, you're not.
True.
Same thing happened. Drake walked around believing that I am on the level of or bigger than this system here. And they had to remind you that, no, you're not. That's all I'm saying.
True. I'm saying that he didn't have a reason not to believe that. He's never seen nobody come before him that was him. 50 had 2 albums that were dominant. 2.
Fam,
this
I'm
nigga
talking about
had
outside of
2
just music.
decades that
Not
were
only the 2
dominant.
albums
where I
that
was
were dominant,
holding
he had way
the
more
music.
than
But his
two
albums was
albums.
dominant. Hold on.
I said 2 albums that were dominant. Was the sentence that I said.
I'm not talking just music.
It's my turn to talk. Yo, this boy had 2 decades of holding the music industry on his fucking shoulders.
Wanted some change,
He's
but
not.
Yeah,
he's
not
not
two
50
decades,
Cent.
but the point stands. Like,
Yo, Drake has never seen somebody come before him that was him. Not Jay-Z, not Eminem, not none of them have been him. So for him to think that he's in a class all of his own, even though he's mistaken, he had a right to feel that.
You don't think M had an impact like that? He never run like Drake.
Not a
I said
run.
just
Impact.
raw numbers.
Impact and run.
But I think you talk about
Yes
numbers.
and
I think you talk
yes
about the
and no.
numbers.
We're talking numbers that we're putting Eminem in that.
If you
talking
talking
about echelon, but I'm saying Drake is
If
different.
you talking numbers, you put Eminem in that category.
Yes.
I don't think that everybody in the world felt Eminem the same way the masses felt Drake.
Now, before we continue, when it comes to consistent releases year in, year out, in that sense, Drake has had the best run based on output. And look, I'm not saying M was dissing Drake when he rapped, so you sold 10 million albums, eh? Only problem is, you put out 10 million albums, but Drake dropped like 12 real projects, including collab albums, since 2010, and more if you count the EPs. And yes, I included More Life, and if you're reading this, it's too late. However, M didn't have to drop as much since 99, and M is still ahead of Drake's numbers to this day. And globally, the gap between M and Drake is even higher. So I don't know what Joe's co-host was talking about there. It is much higher outside the United States. Like in Canada, for instance, Eminem outsold Drake in the 2010s decade. I'm talking single sales, album sales, and even total equivalent album sales in Canada, including streams converted to album sales. Like everything. And here's a fun fact about the 2010s in the United States. Eminem actually sold more albums and sold more songs than Drake even in the 2010s in the United States, although Drake outstreamed M by far. So to say we've not seen Drake's run numbers-wise is objectively incorrect. Eminem remains ahead, even with like 2 hiatuses.
I don't think that everybody in the world felt Eminem the same way the masses felt Drake.
And I want to stick up. I want to stick up for M a little bit. M is a student of hip hop. No matter how big M was or is, he was never going to say anything to Tretch.
Yeah, true.
Or Redman or Kane.
True.
Man, not just that.
Even if he went home and felt like
No,
his
dog.
dip on my chip, he would never present.
He would do the
like
opposite.
He would do the opposite.
Yeah.
He worships them niggas.
Yeah,
Anytime he get in front of a camera,
So I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to bring him up.
This is what I think happened with Drake, and this happened around 2016 when they decided that we were going to make the entire world move from all digital, all everything to strictly streaming. We needed a face. He was the face. We put everything behind him. I mean, granted, he was a star before that. I'm not saying that, but now
We're basically using you to shift the entire industry.
He didn't see the play.
And exactly.
Now, before we continue, Joe's co-host is correct about how Drake was made the face of the transition from the physical and digital era to the streaming era. And as usual, we are gonna pull up receipts to show this transition using Drake's career first week album sales between Views and Scorpion. Views remains Drake's highest first week sales, and it did 1.04 million equivalent albums first week in the United States, of which 852,000 comprised of traditional album sales, also known as pure album sales. Now stay with me to see this change in real time, because Drake's next album, Scorpion, showed this move to streaming spectacularly, as the same Drake went from moving 852,000 pure album sales down to 160,000 pure sales for Scorpion first week, and this drastic change happened in 2 years, all while Drake set the new streaming record at the same time. And since then, Drake could barely sell pure albums. For All the Dogs, for instance, moved 10,000 pure albums on its first week of release. So I believe the numbers support that Drake was used to represent the change and move to the streaming era, all by design. His fall off in terms of pure sales cannot be organic. 852,000 to 10,000, come on now. And for some context, Eminem's The Death of Slim Shady moved 114,000 pure album sales first week.
We're basically using you to shift the entire industry.
He didn't see the play.
And exactly.
He
did not see the play and understand.
How would you?
Because
I'm not saying that he was supposed to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not defending.
Because
that.
if you give a person, you say this, if you give a person the ability to feed you, give them, they were the reason why you did this.
You don't think that though.
That's where the naivety comes into play. You didn't do this. They did this.
I think that Drake feels like they suppressing my shit, and that's the only reason my shit not going. I think that Drake feels like, yo, if I had a fair, even field to play on, my shit would go. They suppressing it.
You never had a fair, even field to play on.
If he's saying that, then in my opinion, he's learned it. Because dude with the dip on his chip didn't think there was a way to ever suppress me, because I'm me.
True.
No, so if today he's realizing some of the things that a lesser artists have realized, which is a lot of it is them, how the spins and the videos and, and the people in every city
and everybody in every city, every major city in the country is playing your shit the second that it drops.
And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.